This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather Ho, there's Jeff Kennedy. I'm welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, Jan26, is a Portuguese manager, which is given the name The Special One by the British media. One of the most decorated managers ever. One of the greatest of all time. He's now 60 years old today. Anyway, he started out life in the Portuguese leagues as a midfielder. Then he went into coaching, first as an interpreter, before being success as an assistant, and then became manager with a couple of key wins and all that. And he calls, I think I'm a special one. He's had several great managerial careers from 2000 onwards. He is the special one indeed, Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho, I should say. So anyway, he was born in Setúbal, part of Portugal. And, he actually played soccer. He played for a couple of B-level teams, Real Ave and Belenenses, but went to Sensiba and Comercia Industria. Sorry, my pronunciation skills are false. So anyway, you wanted to play at Belenenses and all that. So anyway, after that, he decided to go to the Technical University of Lisbon to study sports science. And then he actually would attend coaching courses held by England and Scottish Football Associations. Mourinho actually figured he could redefine the coach role in soccer by mixing coaching theory with motivational and psychological techniques. So anyway, he became youth team coach at Vitubio Setúbal, but he arose to work as a translator for top foreign coach. So Bobby Robson was actually appointed as manager of Sporting CP, so they needed an interpreter. So he was, that he began this kind of tactics and coaching Robson in his interpretation role. Robson was sacked in December '93, and Portal signed Robson to be the head coach. Mourinho went back to him to be coach and interpreter. And that Portal team looked pretty good. They got to the Champions League semifinals in 1994, won the 94 Portuguese Cup, the 95 and 96 Portuguese League Championship, and the Super Cup 94, 95, 96. Robson would then leave to Barcelona, and Mourinho left with him to Barca. They had good styles and all that. And their first season together, Robson and Mourinho, they won the European Cup Winners' Cup, the Copa del Rey, and the Supercopa. Robson would move clubs, but Barcelona wanted him to be assistant manager, Mourinho. So he worked with Louis van Gaal, and Barcelona won back-to-back La Ligas. And Van Gaal actually said that his assistant coach had more promise than being a skilled assistant, so they wanted him to help. So he became assistant manager at Benfica, but then once they canned Jupp Heynckes. After week 4, he got up there. All that. So anyway, Benfica, he had problems and all that. Mourinho only lasted 9 games in charge. Unfortunately, the club president wouldn't extend Mourinho's contract, and basically Mourinho left. So he went to União de Leiria. And the team took 4th place in the league, ahead of Porto and Benfica, which is unbelievable. 2 of the biggest clubs around. Well, Porto said, if you can't beat them, join them. So they decided to get Mourinho plug him away from Union Deloria. And Porto was in 5th place in La Liga, behind Union Deloria. And was in last place in the Champions League second group stage. But Mourinho helped Porto out and got them to 3rd place after an 11-0-4 run. So that looked pretty good and all that. He identified several key players on him, such as Vitor Baia, Ricardo Carvalho, Cosino, Deco, Helder Postica, Jorge Costa, and then picked up Paulo Ferreira and Nuno Valente and Maniche. So he helped Porto win the 2003 Portuguese League. In fact, the 86 points was the Portuguese record until Benfica took it over in 2016. Mourinho won the Portuguese Cup and the UEFA Cup against Celtic. So he was a star. So it looked pretty good and all that. Porto won the 2004 Portuguese League, but lost the Portuguese Cup final to Benfica, their rivals. However, Porto surprised everyone by shocking the world by getting to the Champions League final in the first place and then beating Monaco 3-0. Porto took down Man U, Olympic Lyon, and Deportivo Coruna on their way to the final. It was like shocking. A Portuguese squad winning the Champions League is one thing, but Porto, wow. Anyway, it was huge and all that. Mourinho got a large offer from Roman Abramovich and went to Chelsea on a 3-year contract. There was a lot of things. That when he went to Chelsea, that's why he was called the special one. And all that. Thanks to Mourinho, Chelsea ended up getting their first top flight domestic title in 50 years, going back to the days when it was just Division 1 for the English Cups. So that would be 1955. Setting a lot of records, including 95 points in the Premier League as a team and conceding only 15 times, which was amazing. He even helped Chelsea win the League Cup against Liverpool 3-2 in extra time. Unfortunately, Chelsea would lose in the semifinal to Liverpool. Anyway, Chelsea won another Premier League title. So Mourinho, going back to Portugal, had won 4 straight domestic league titles in a row. It's amazing. Chelsea won the League Cup against Arsenal. And they lost to Liverpool again in the Champions League on penalties this time. So anyway, Mourinho didn't get a league title win, but he got the FA Cup by beating Man U 1-0. So he won every domestic trophy available to a Premier League manager. Nevertheless, Chelsea did their job and all that. However, he unexpectedly left Chelsea September 2007 with a mutual consent. But Abramovich kind of was the reason why. It was shocking. I mean, Chelsea had their best successful manager in Chelsea history, getting 6 trophies in 3 years, and yet they let him go. Although that his successor, Abraham Grant, did lead Chelsea to the Champions League final, they lost to Man U, something I was happy with, of course. So then he was appointed to Inter Milan. So he knew he could do what he could do. And all that. Inter won the 2009 Serie A title So it looked pretty good. What happened with Inter Milan? In 2010, he helped Inter progress to the quarterfinals by taking down Chelsea in the knockout stages. Of all teams, well, Jose Mourinho got Inter to the Champions League final in 2010, but lost. Lost, I think. No, Inter won the 2010 Champions League against Bayern Munich 2-0, so he got a Champions League title. And Inter Milan got the treble: domestic cup, domestic league, and Europe and Continental League title. Mourinho got a second Champions League title, one with Porto, one with Inter. Real Madrid would snatch Mourinho as manager for the 2011 season. Real won the Copa del Rey in 2011, ending an 18-year drought of the Spanish Cup champions. In 2012, Real won the La Liga with the most games won, 32, the most away wins, 16, and 100 points, beating Barcelona by 9. Real looked pretty impressive and all that. After losing the Copa del Rey to Atletico Madrid, he left by mutual consent back to Chelsea. Chelsea shocked a lot of people by getting him back and all that. They won the Premier League in 2015, his second season back with them. Unfortunately, after a long drought for Chelsea, losing 9 of 16 Premier League matches, they let him go. And somehow he got to my team, Manchester United. It was like, holy crow, the special one's coming to Man U. You know, as a Man U supporter, I gotta love this one. Man U won the Football League trophy over Southampton and won the Europa League, which was pretty good. He got every European Cup final. Well, Cup / Euro League. Anyway, in 2018, Man U would take second place behind their rivals Man City. Unfortunately, Mourinho was sacked by Man U December 2018 after only 7 wins in the first 17 Premier League games. Then he went to Tottenham for a 4-year contract. And he was actually sacked before the Football League final against Man City, which was shocking in 2021. And then Mourinho now coaches at AS Roma. Roma got to the finals of the Europa Conference League, and Roma beat Feyenoord. I don't get the Conference League, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Roma won a trophy. So anyway, his tactics are all that. Personal life, he has a wife, Tammy, and they married in 1989. So he has 2 kids, Matilde and Jose Mourinho Jr. So anyway, it was just what he could do. So as a manager for Benfica, Union de Luria, Porto, Chelsea, Inter, Real Madrid, Man U, Tottenham, and Roma, to this current day, he's won 676 of a possible 1,075 games. His winning percentage is 62.8%. And here's what he did. Porto, he got them to 2 Portuguese League titles, 03 and 04, the Portuguese Cup 2003, the Champions League in 2004, and the UEFA Cup in 2003. With Chelsea, he helped them win the Premier League in 05, 06, and 2015, FA Cup 2007, Football League Cup in 05, 07, 15. Inter Milan, he helped them win the 09 and 10 Italian titles, the 2010 Coppa Italia, and Champions League 2010 with the treble. Real Madrid, La Liga in 2012, Copa del Rey as in Spanish Cup 2011, and then with Man U, Football League Cup in 2017, Europa 2017. Roma having them in the Conference League. So yeah, he holds some records. He's won 2 Champions League titles as a manager with different clubs, having Porto and Inter. For 9 years, he didn't lose a single game on home turf. It seems they never lost, which was weird. Chelsea still holds the record for fewest goals conceded in the Premier League season, 15, which is like less than half a goal a game. 77 games unbeaten at home in the Premier League, and the youngest manager to reach 100 Champions League games. Now 49 years old. That's pretty good. But yeah, Jose Mourinho was the special one after all. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.